Good morning. It is 6:56 a.m. November, not October. November 17th, and I am still in Ocala, Florida. Yes, that's Ocala, not Ocala. I'm probably about 50 to 60 miles from Ocala. I'm about 4 or 5 miles down the road from the Fort Gates Ferry, and this is where I stayed last night. I don't know if you can see that really well, but this is where I made my home last night. A bit of an update. Last night I ended up catching up to another rider. I forget at what mile it was, but he and I rode in the last few miles together, and we got to the Fort Gates Ferry to cross the St. Johns River at exactly 7 p.m. Now the ferry stops running at 5 p.m. so we were faced with a choice, and the choice was to ride an additional, I believe, 58 miles north to basically make a detour around the crossing point to get to the other side of the St. Johns River, or sleep and stay on this side and catch the ferry this morning, which starts back up at 7 a.m., or just pull the plug and go back home. Call somebody to pick us up and go back home. So we were both a little weary, tired, and hungry, and there's not much around in these parts. I don't even get a phone signal. There's no place of lodging, and there was only one restaurant. And we're told to check this place out. It's basically the only place in town. It is called Shrimp Are Us and More, and it is co-owned by two partners by the name of James Wynn and Ron Stringer. Now, we came here upon recommendation, and the food was really good that we had. The guy that I caught up to on the ride, his name is also John. And eventually he ended up calling his girlfriend to come get him, and he went home last night. I had the choice to, get a ride with them, or call my brother, to pick me up. But the people here at Shrimp Are Us were very, curious and interested to know what we were doing. Two guys from out of town on mountain bikes wanted to know where we started, what we were doing. And I must say that they, the owners here and their entire staff, they displayed a level of kindness and hospitality that you just don't really see anymore. I mean, it's pretty amazing and astounding. To make a long story short, I was trying to figure out what my next move was once the other guy named John decided that he was going home. And the owners here were so welcoming. They said, well, we have outdoor seating. Once again, as you can see, this is the back part of their restaurant and their bar. They said, you're more than welcome to stay here if you want. And there's a big campfire here. As you can see, it's still smoldering. But they went home and got me a foam mattress and a blanket and a pillow and all kinds of stuff to sleep on, and talked with me for a little bit. And like I said, they were so welcoming and so hospitable. It's just pretty amazing. So I decided to sleep it out here, and here I am. It's probably about 7 o'clock by now, but I think what I'm going to do is get some breakfast and go down the road to the ferry, cross the St. Johns, and see if I can continue this expedition. It would have been nice, to meet my goal last night to get there at 5:30 and cross the St. Johns River and keep going, but, that didn't happen, so this is the next best thing I can do. I was not in the mental state of mind to ride an additional 58 miles last night to keep going. I just didn't want to do that. I just, that was just, to me, that was out of the question. I wasn't about to do that. So I did consider going home. That was very tempting. But when I really thought about it, it's like I started this. I'm really halfway in right now. I think I'd like to finish it. And I know there are other riders behind me. I'm assuming they're probably at the ferry by now. But there are probably, I would say, 8 to 10 riders behind me that obviously didn't make the 7 o'clock, the 5:30 cutoff time to get across the river. Last night on the way in, actually when we got to the ferry and we're trying to figure out where could we get something to eat, we did come across another couple on this event that they apparently missed the ferry by 20 minutes and didn't get across. So they stopped for 2 hours and took a break, and then they were going to continue on through the night and do the extra 58 miles and keep going. All power to you. I hope they made it up and around safely. That's not something that I was really wanting or prepared to do. Anyway, that's my long update for this morning. There's a convenience store down the road. I got to get some more batteries for my equipment. I'm going to stop there after I leave here, and I guess it's back on the road. If I can find a place to hose my bike off. My bike is caked with sand, and it's a mess. It's running okay, but it's running kind of poorly now because I literally ran yesterday for probably close to 5 hours in the rain on dirt roads. Oh, that's another thing. After a while, you may have noted, those of you that are following my progress may have noticed that I stopped posting various video updates on YouTube and Facebook. That's because it started raining from the point where I got to Chuck Lennon Park in DeLeon Springs rather, up until we got here in Fort Gates last night at 7 o'clock. So from about 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock, it was raining. It wasn't raining very heavily, but it was raining enough to where I didn't want to use my phone for fear that it would get water damage. So I left that there. I had a limited amount of battery power with my phone and my other devices, so that's another reason. And then when I got, in this general area, there is no phone service, or no, at least with my Sprint carrier, there's no phone reception at all. I can't get a data signal or phone signal to save my life. So that's why it'd been a while since I stopped posting any kind of update. But again, mainly because of the weather. It was raining. The route had us going on a lot, and I do mean a lot, of dirt forest roads. And I guess normally in dry conditions, I'd be able to keep a normal speed. And when I say normal, probably 15 to 17 miles per hour down these. But with the rain yesterday, the roads got soft and moist, and it was like riding on a sponge, literally like riding on a sponge with the brakes on the entire time. And a lot of times, even with a good effort, the most I could sustain and keep going was about anywhere from 8.5 to 9.5 miles per hour. I couldn't do any more than that, and that went on literally for miles and miles and miles and hours. So that definitely was something that was impeding progress to try to get to the ferry in time. Anyway, I'm going to try to find something to eat here at Shrimp R Us, and I will be back in touch once I'm back on the road shortly. Thank you.